you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So he was nominated by this Norwegian official, and he said President Trump has done more for trying to create peace than any other person who's been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Do you agree with that? And tell us more about your thoughts on that region.
Well, I do agree. And what we've seen is a wholesale shift under his leadership where I don't think we're going to stop at the Emiratis, at the UAE. I think you're going to see more movement from Bahrain, from Oman, and from other countries that realize that Israel is a liberal democracy that's here to stay, the greatest ally of the United States. And this alignment that you're seeing is vis-a-vis Iran. And the last thing those countries want is a repeat of the Obama-Biden years with a complete sellout of their security interests and the United States to the mullahs in Iran. So that's what's driving this alignment. And my hat's off to the president, Jared Kushner, his national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, for bringing that deal together, and more to follow. And then on top of that, you also have Kosovo and Serbia, all of the violence that we saw there in the 90s and 2000s also coming together to begin talks to move towards peace.
Congressman, will he win? Will he get the Nobel Peace Prize?
You know, I think if he could get a fair vote, I'd love to see him. I mean, President Obama got it for basically, existing and blinking. So if you look at the actual accomplishments, which is really the story of this presidency, you look at what he's actually getting done, compared to all the rhetoric that's out there, and it's incredible.
And if he didn't have the trust of Benjamin Netanyahu, who President Obama did not like, it would not have happened, as well as the stance against Iran. But you know that well. You fight over there. President also doing something that gets me extremely nervous. He is cutting back troops in Iraq. And as much as we're pressuring Iran, the signal to the Iranians is we're moving out. And the signal to the Iraqi government is you might not have a choice but to continue that alliance with Iran. And we had a prime minister there that was actually standing up to the Iranian militias. Do you worry about that message?
Well, I'm not as concerned about the actual troop numbers. I think a lot of those troops, we do need to see a shift and focus on what I believe is the greatest threat to the United States, and that's the Chinese Communist Party. But we need to have the capability, and we need to have the platforms to begin and to continue to fight forward. The reason ISIS was completely eliminated and we haven't seen attacks in the United States is because we have our foot on their neck forward. The reason we were able to take out Baghdadi and Soleimani and continue to stay on the offense is we have assets in the region. Whether it's 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, I'll let the Pentagon decide, the actual numbers. And then finally, our base in Afghanistan. It's not just about terrorism. It's on the western flank of China, the southern flank of Russia, and the eastern flank of Iran. I think we need to keep that there, too.
Absolutely.
But again, I'm not as focused on the exact numbers of troops.
Well, and the president ran on this. This should be no surprise. He's been trying to draw down the numbers, and there are a lot of family members who would love to see their men and women come home after a very long time away.
And I just want to say, too, Steve, I have never, ever heard him utter anything like what the mainstream media is alleging in that ridiculous article in The Atlantic. He has, from Gold Star legislation to wounded warriors, things that I've worked with him on and helped him pass. He has been 200% for the troops. And to your point, one of the reasons he wants to draw down as much as possible is he gets so emotional and moved when he goes out to Dover Air Force Base and Walter Reed and others. And I just want to be loud and clear that my experience with him has been fantastic when it comes to our soldiers.
Well, you had an experience with him yesterday. He was in the shadow of the Jupiter Inlet lighthouse, which was, it dates back to before the Civil War. He gave you a shout out. One of the headlines was he signed an executive order moratorium on oil drilling off of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina, which is different because a couple of years ago he was proposing drilling in the continental waters, but now he's saying, nope, not going to do it. At the same time, you look at the very latest Florida presidential poll, and among likely voters, it is a dead heat, 48-48. The campaign also had a call yesterday to tell the reporters on the call that according to their internals, President Trump was ahead in Arizona and leading in Nevada, which he lost last time. What is going on? Because, you know, it was a couple of weeks ago, a month or two ago, we heard the mainstream media say Joe Biden is so far ahead, and now it looks like things have turned.
Yeah, one of the things I think was really significant was the RNC convention that cut through all of the noise to talk about what he's actually getting done. You know, I was with him yesterday in Jupiter, and just on the environment, hundreds of millions of dollars for the Everglade, $38 billion for clean water infrastructure, the offshore moratorium and ban on drilling that he's now extended, even things like the Save Our Seas Act, which he signed to clean up our oceans. The president knows that clean water and our environment, particularly in Florida, it's not a partisan issue. It's about our economy, it's our jobs, it's boating, fishing, our beaches. It is 100% something we have to have for our way of life there. And the president, as a Floridian, knows that. But once again, we're talking about now, and Floridians are cutting through the noise on what he's actually getting done to impact their lives. And I think that's a big reason you're seeing this shift.
Yeah, Congressman, a lot of people are moving down to Florida. There's a new report out that 950 people from up here in the high-tax states up north are moving down to your state.
Move over!
I don't know if you like that or not.
Come on.
You like it? A lot of them are Democrats, though.
Well, I think we already have Steve and Brian Ainsley come on down.
And the president. You got the president now.
Talk to Gavin about doing the show from Florida. We got the president, and we're ready. But look, I think the SALT tax, you know, those provisions really started it. But now you have COVID. We have great sheriffs in terms of law and order. And the big thing is our schools are open. So we're seeing families come down
you're playing
to kind of
sports
quarantine.
too?
But our schools are giving, our school superintendents are giving parents a choice. Either you can have a hybrid option, an in-person option, a virtual option. And that's what Florida is about, is creating an environment, whether you're a business or a family, where you can live your life, have a choice. Government enables your life, not gets in the way of it. And with our great governor, senators, and our delegation.
How can you leave out the weather? It's the weather, baby.
NASCAR, beaches, NASA, and we got everything.
Tom
Just
Brady.
come on to Florida.
Tom Brady.
All the golfers.
Golf too.
All right.
Golf too. We got all of the above, and I look forward to seeing you guys down there.
Okay, appearing on behalf of the Florida Chamber of Commerce, Congressman, thank you very much.
All right.
1,000 a day. 1,000 a day. It's really incredible.
You just got to see if they come in and they're voting for Joe Biden. It could change everything.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That in Texas,
Well,
too.
I have a couple of new neighbors from California and New York, and I was like, guys, don't bring your nonsense down here. we like it the way we like it in Florida.
All right, Congressman. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye. Good to see you.